Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Next Up. And I want to thank you for taking your time out to listen to the things that I share, again, down the lines of health and wellness today. Now, today I want you to go with me. Let's go to court where we can get a confession. Today we're going to talk about the confession of a soft drink. All right? The confession of a soft drink. Now, I pulled this right off of line, and you can do the same thing. But I want to get into it, break it down, give explanation, look into what happens in our bodies when we're consuming the soft drinks. I was a big time consumer. The 64 ounces, the cans, the bottles, plastic bottles, you name it. I used to love them until I found out what they were doing to my health. Well, as a matter of fact, nowadays, I make my own drinks. Well, if someone else can make a drink, why not you and I? You know, I've found this to be one of the keys to bettering your health. Do some things yourself. Don't let convenience cause a demise in your health. Don't let compromise. Compromise from what? Compromise from what is wholesome, nutritionally dense. Don't let these C's, convenience, compromise, and there's another one, convenience, compromise, and I forget my third C. Maybe it'll come to mind before I finish. But don't let convenience and compromise cause a demise in your health. Let's go to court. Let's hear what a soft drink confesses. Now, of course, this is something that someone came up with, but I like it. And I think it's worth listening to. Now, before we get into the confession, I want to give you some stats. And here's what I looked up. You can look this stuff up yourself. I'm convinced that one of the keys to better health is investigation. Looking into. The scripture calls it getting knowledge. Without knowledge, you're not going to be effective in anything. How much more when it comes down to health? So the average American consumes 40 to 45 gallons of sodas annually. This has been stated to be around 480 to 500 cans of soda as we break it down. This amounts to around 1.3 cans consumed per person each day. Sodas. Well, what do they do? How do they affect our health? When I saw this, I'm like, you're gone. You're not welcome to my home any longer. You're not welcome in my vehicle any longer. I'm not transporting you to my house. I'm not going to be consuming you as I used to do before I got born again nutritionally. That just came out, you all. Born again nutritionally, or had a mind transformation. I used to consume this stuff. But statistics reveal that they contribute to weight gain. Well, your body shows that too. Not just the statistics, but what is your body saying? I'll never forget, I used to have the back pains. Never contributed for a number of years to the consumption of all those sodas I was drinking. Weight gain, it increases type 2 diabetes, and also promotes heart disease and tooth decay. Well, why is that? Look at the sugar content. One writer said that a soda is diabetes in a can. Now, who wants to do that conscientiously? But there is some good news too. There are some drinks that are out there like the Zevias, Zevia, made out of stevia, that doesn't have that kind of health impact on the body. Zevia, sweetened with something called stevia, a natural sweetener. There's also kombucha as an alternative. There's also the alternative of make your own drink. All right? But don't just arbitrarily consume stuff that, look it up for yourself, it's going to cause weight gain, tooth decay, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, because of all the sugar that's in it. Think about it. How many teaspoons of sugar are in one 10-ounce can of soda? About 10 to 12 or 15, I believe it is. The number is high. Now, it's not like there's anything that's nutritionally sound in there. You got carbonated water. You've got caramel coloring in some of them. You've got 10 to possibly 15, or at least I think I've heard 12 teaspoons of sugar. And we wonder why these problems that I've just shared with you are there. All right? Go with me to court. Let's hear the confession of a soft drink. All right. Hello. Now, this is the confession. Hello, I am humble, effervescent. I am a humble, effervescent liquid. Humble? Well, that's debatable. Actually, I'm quite proud of myself. Allow me to brag a little bit. Now, the soda is on the witness stand, all right? The soda says, allow me to brag a little bit. I fizz, sparkle, and bubble my way into thousands of people all over the world every day. I have much power. I cause masses of humanity to make beelines for snack dispensers in plush, high-rise buildings. Oh, I stir men, women, and teenagers to dash into their cars late at night to speed to their nearest 24-hour convenience store. To give me an appetizing brown tint, I contain caramel coloring, which has genetic effects and is a cancer-causing suspect. I sometimes have polyethylene glycol as one of my ingredients. Glycol is used as an antifreeze in automobiles and as an oil solvent. I don't want to be drinking anything that's got stuff in it that's in antifreeze. I used to, because I did it in ignorance. The confession goes on to say, the bubbles and the fizz with which I potently burn human insides is caused by my phosphoric acid. The phosphorus in the acid upsets the body's calcium-phosphorus ratio and dissolves calcium out of the bones. This can eventually result in the big O, osteoporosis, which is a weakening of the skeletal structure, which can make one susceptible to broken bones. Also, the phosphorus fights with the hydrochloric acid in the human stomach and renders the acid ineffective. And we wonder why we have acid reflux or intestinal problems. This promotes indigestion, bloating, and gassiness in many individuals. We're talking about the confession of a soft drink. These substances enhance my appeal. Wait a minute, let me back up. I missed something here. It goes on to say, I offer a selection of 3 types of sweeteners according to the consumer's preference. The sweeteners are saccharin or aspartame in the diet type sodas, and sugar or corn syrup in the regular drinks. These substances enhance my appeal and come disguised as good for everyone. Notice disguised. However, taste can be deceiving. Let me explain. Saccharin is an artificial sweetener, which has raised some concern about cancer in laboratory animals. There are warning labels on containers. There are warning labels on containers in which saccharin is an ingredient, of which saccharin is an ingredient. So in other words, there are warning labels on some containers that's saying that saccharin is a dangerous substance. Aspartame, the most common diet sweetener, has been linked to convulsions, depression, insomnia, irritability, weakness, dizziness, headaches, mood swings, and mental retardation. Pause, Salah, pump the brakes, come to a yield, or come to a stop. This is no joke. We got to give adherence to this. Sugar and corn syrup can induce both hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar, and hyperglycemia, which is high blood sugar, in susceptible individuals. Hypoglycemia has been linked to mental illness and hyperglycemia to diabetes. Now, sugar gives you a lift or a burst of energy, then sends you crashing to severe fatigue. To get another charge, more sugary drinks are consumed. This pattern exhausts the adrenal glands and leaves a person with chronic, tired feelings. Gorgeous, that's what I am. I come dressed in a shiny metal can in various colors and tints. Sometimes I'm silver, sometimes I'm gold, sometimes I'm blue, red, and etc. I beckon and dazzle shoppers as they stroll past me in supermarkets. Let me read that again. I beckon and dazzle shoppers. It used to get me too. As they stroll past me in supermarkets, as if to say, you need to turn around and come back and pick up a few cans, pick up a 6-pack of me. That's what's happening. I'm especially attractive, and hands reach for cases of me to share with their friends at picnics and parties. However, I am very tricky. My thirst-quenching liquid, which is alluringly encased in aluminum cans, contain traces of the same metal. The acid in the soft drink eats away the aluminum, which floats around until it is ingested in the consumer. Aluminum, of course, I'm sure most of us are aware of aluminum. is a very toxic substance and builds up in the human body. It has a particular affinity for the brain and has been linked to degenerative senility affliction. In other words, Alzheimer's disease. You need to think about it. When you're drinking all of these cans in one day, what was the statistic that I read to you a few moments ago? What? The average American consumes 40 to 45 gallons a day. I mean, a year, a day. And again, it contributes to weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, tooth decay, arthritis, and there are a list of others. I just wanted to have this time with you, inviting you to court with me, where I've just shared with you the confession of a soft drink. Dear people, let's be watchful, knowledgeable, and do like what the scripture says. In all of your getting, get understanding. Get understanding what you allow in and what you allow on your body. Now, if you are in need or desire a consultation or a seminar with Dr. E, or me to host a seminar, go to my website, ellisonsconsulting.com, and request a consultation or a seminar for your municipality, your business, your organization, your church, or whatever group of people you have. I'll be more than glad to do so. Why? Because I'm passionate about teaching people how to protect, empower, and promote their health. God bless you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Next Up. God bless.